Today is Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Welcome back here to Weather on the Go. My name is Hunter, and in this video, we're going to be tracking the weather for you across the United States, looking at the general weather patterns through the next few days, who will see the warmer temperatures, who will see the colder temperatures, who will get the rain, who won't. So we're going to be updating you on that. Your long-range forecast heading into the middle of October. Any changes that are coming with that, we'll be updating here in the video, and we'll be giving you a tropical weather diagnosis at the end. So make sure to like the video first and foremost. It helps to get all this information out to more and more people by liking it, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. And of course, subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe, hit that bell notification and turn it to all so you get all my videos and live streams as well. So let's get into it here. We have some warmer than normal temperatures up across the upper Midwest. In fact, over 20 degrees above normal, really centered across Minnesota and northern Wisconsin, heading through the rest of this week. High temperatures today, we're back into the 80s up here into Minnesota, into the Dakotas, 70s in Wisconsin, 90s though the further south you go towards the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Delta region. As we go into Thursday, we're going to start to see those upper 80s start to move a little bit further to the north, up into the Midwest of Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, and Illinois. And then once we get into Friday, we're seeing 90s arriving up there into places like Des Moines, Omaha, Chicago, even as far north as the Minneapolis Twin Cities region, and that could be bringing us potentially some record high temperatures starting on Friday, going into Saturday as well, and then a cold front on Sunday will bring our temperatures back down, but still 83 up there on Sunday in the Twin Cities region. For low temperatures here on your Thursday morning, we're going to be seeing some colder air across the Northeast and potentially cold enough for even some frost and freezes here into New York State. You blink, you miss it. In those navy blue colors, those are freeze warnings into the lower valley regions of central New York State. So be watching out for that sensitive vegetation out there if you do have any. But further west, it's all about the warmth, and even some record warmth, mid-60s starting off there on your Thursday morning into central Minnesota. And then as we go into Friday morning, more of the same, and then going especially Saturday morning. I mean, look at this, the urban heat island up here of Minneapolis, St. Paul, even into Omaha, Lincoln. We're going to be into the low 70s to start off the weekend there on Saturday to start off, and then even into Sunday as well. So a warm start to the weekend will promise a warm end to the weekend during the afternoon as well. Now, as far as precipitation is concerned, a little bit drier of a trend here in brown across the eastern U.S., a little bit wetter of a trend in the green and blues across the western third, and that's what we're going to be talking about region by region. So we're going to start here in the east, we're going to go in the central and then western U.S. and talk about the next couple of days. This afternoon, we're going to see plenty of sunshine here across the northeast, so wall-to-wall sunshine. A few higher clouds may be starting to impinge on our airspace across portions of Lake Erie over there towards Lake Huron, but other than that, not really looking at a lot of cloud cover. A lot more, though, into the Ohio Valley. I think we're going to see more of a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy sky for our friends in Indianapolis, Detroit, Dayton, Cincinnati, and Lexington as we go into this afternoon and evening. A mix of sun and clouds for the southeast, some thunderstorms possible in Florida with the remnants of Imelda, and then as we go into the day on Thursday, I think we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds, a little bit more cloud cover on Thursday compared to today across the northeast here. And we're going to see a little bit more cloud cover in the mid-Atlantic as well, where we see mostly sunny skies will be down near the Gulf Coast going into Thursday afternoon. Now in the central U.S., we're seeing a mix of sun and clouds, maybe a little bit more cloud cover than sunshine though into the Midwest, especially the Illinois Valley. Maybe a couple sprinkles or showers as we go into the early mid-afternoon, trying to pop up here on the western side of that blanket of cloud cover over towards the Sioux Falls region, for example. Omaha, we'll be keeping an eye on that. Not a lot to really talk about, maybe enough to wet the pavement, but as we go into the Thursday morning time frame, a lot of sunshine out here into the plains, a mix of sun and clouds to start your Thursday in the Midwest, and we're going to peel away those clouds in the afternoon. So Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, even into Iowa City there, we'll start to see mostly sunny skies once we get into Thursday afternoon as the cloud cover moves further to the east. Into the western U.S. we go, a lot of cloud cover in the Pacific Northwest that's leading to some showers and storms here. over the next few hours. It'll be on a hit or miss basis across Washington State, Oregon, Northern California, some of those showers getting into central and northern Idaho, a few sprinkles into western Montana as well. That'll continue into tonight. Then as we go into the day on Thursday, I think we're going to see even more moisture moving in, especially later in the day across portions of Nevada up into central Idaho and into western Montana there. Central Idaho and the higher elevations could be seeing some pretty heavy wet snowflakes as we go in towards your Thursday night into Friday morning time frame, which is interesting there as well. So putting it all together through 7 a.m. on Monday, October the 6th, the heaviest of the rains will be across the Pacific Northwest, up here in toward the Dakotas and Black Hills regions here of the Dakotas as well, where we could be seeing an inch or two of rainfall. That'll extend up into southern Manitoba and western and central Ontario, Canada, where an inch or two of rainfall can be expected there up toward Thunder Bay as well. Now, as we look here at the snowfall, again, we're getting closer to that time of year. It is October 1st. Could be potentially seeing a foot or two of snow into Wyoming, western portions there of Montana, or central Idaho, a few inches of snow as well going through 7 a.m. on Monday, October the 6th. Now, looking at our long-range weather pattern heading into next work week, Monday, October 6th through Friday, October the 10th, or the second week of October, we're going to have a ridge of high pressure here in yellow and orange across the eastern third of the country, a little bit of a trough coming in across California and the Sacramento Valley there in the southwest. That'll give us a little bit of some cooler temperature trends. The most above normal temperatures we're going to be centered right under that ridge of high pressure. Think of it as sinking air, and you have a lot of sunshine. So from Texas here all the way up toward the mid-Mississippi Valley, western Ohio Valley, that's where our temperatures could run a good 10, 15, even 20 degrees above normal heading into next week. And a little bit wetter, though, across portions of the Central Plains up into the upper Midwest as we have a front coming through. And that could definitely provide us with some much-needed moisture as we head into next week. But underneath of that ridge of high pressure, sinking air, it looks like it's going to be leaning more below normal over here into the lower Mississippi Delta region, and then picking back up with moisture across the east heading into next week. Couple of solutions here. The European model showing a recurvature of a system in the East Pacific, bringing a fire hose of moisture up into the Central Plains and into the Midwest, Ohio Valley going through later next week. That cannot be discounted as we have a lot of deep tropical moisture in the East Pacific. In a recurving system, definitely could bring a few inches of rain here into the Missouri Ozarks region and the Illinois Valley. And then you can even see here into the Ohio Valley, a large chunk of it. The GFS model is showing at least an inch of rainfall heading into later next week. So a little bit of a model agreement on there. A little bit differences, though, in the intensity of the rainfall and also the exact track. We'll keep monitoring that in future updates. You want to go a little bit further out. It looks like another potent cold front comes through by the third week or so of October. It's just slightly past the halfway point. That could bring us some cooler shots of air as we go from around October 12th through the 20th time frame, and also some more rainfall opportunities, although a little bit further east into the Ohio Valley or the eastern ag belt, up into the northeast and even parts of the southeast where we'll be drying out, maybe behind that cold front, right into the plains and the western third of the United States between, again, the 12th and the 20th of October. Let's look here at the Atlantic Ocean for the tropical weather update. Remnants of Humberto are moving into the northwestern Atlantic currently. We also have Hurricane Imelda that continues to spin there just to the east of the United States. It's moving away from the U.S., but of note, we do have hurricane warnings for Bermuda. This could be bringing some problems to Bermuda over the next 48 to 72 hours, so be keeping an eye on that with beach erosion, rip current risks, storm surge, very heavy rainfall, and strong winds there in the island of Bermuda, but then quickly racing into the North Atlantic, way up there toward Greenland once we go in towards Monday, early next week. The Pacific side is very active too. We got Tropical Storm Octave, and we also have an 80% chance of a system developing. This one is the most important because Octave is going to just kind of fall apart in the ocean, but this one has an 80% chance is going to be that system that recurves up there toward the Baja of California, and that is going to be important for our local pattern here into North America, and we're going to look at that here right now. So you can see here, The GFS model wasn't really in agreement with the European model yesterday. It has a powerful system developing, perhaps a pretty formidable hurricane, and it recurves it toward the Baja of California as we go here in towards early next week. And that could bring some much needed moisture up across portions of the United States. And it's not unreasonable to say that this system could go powerful because there's a lot of warm water here, including the shelf waters near the Mexico coast, and it is well above normal pace for the warmth of our water here just to the west of the Baja of California. So as the system tries to recurve there, it could maintain some intensity even as it gets closer there towards Southern California. So that'll be something to keep an eye on even for the local residents in Southern California, with either the moisture or that system maintaining its intensity heading in towards next week. Now we are looking again at a Melda here into the Atlantic. Again, that's going to continue to track there towards the North Atlantic and eventually toward Greenland and out of our hair once we get into the weekend. And anything behind it that we are seeing, well, not really a lot going into the weekend. There is another tropical wave that tries to come off the coast of Africa once we get into the middle of next week, around the Wednesday, October 8th time frame. But again, that is still over around a week out, 7 days, and that may be tracking there towards the Caribbean or the southwestern Atlantic. Also got to watch the Central American gyre there towards the Yucatan for any systems that could develop into the southern Gulf and track towards the Gulf Coast. Keeping an eye on that as we go into the middle of October. But nonetheless, that's all the weather talk I have for you today. If you did enjoy the weather forecast, make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. When you subscribe, click that bell icon and turn it to all so you get all my videos and live streams here and future updates on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I hope everyone has a wonderful start of October out there.